ವಿಶ್ವಾಸ ಮೇಲಿನ ಅನುಸಾರ ಅದಕ್ಕಾಗಿದೆ ಸರ್ ನಮಗೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ
ಹಲೋ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? ಹಲೋ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ?
ಅಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬಂದು ಮಾತಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಏನು ನಡೀತಲ್ಲ
ಎಷ್ಟಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಸರ್. ಬಂದ್ರು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಬರೋದ್ರು ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಬೈಕಲ್ಲಿ ಸರ್
ಬೈಕ್
ನಾನು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀನಿ this is my question. Hello.
ಅದೇನೋ ರೆಡಿ ಆಗ ಕೊಡಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ತೆಗಿತೀನಿ.
ಸಣ್ಣ ಜೀಪ್ ಕಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಏರೋಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡೋಕೆ
ಕ್ರಿಕೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ IPL ಆಗಿದೆ, ಸ್ಟೇಡಿಯಂ ಮಾಡೋದೇ ಬೇರೆ, ನಾವು ಟೆಲಿಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋದೇ ಬೇರೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ
ಔಟ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಆಮೇಲೆ 5 ನಿಮಿಷ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ನಮಗೆ.
ಬೆಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಹೆಂಗಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ಅವ್ನು ಕ್ಯಾಚ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಾನೆ, ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೆ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಈಗ ಔಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಬೆಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅಂತಾನೆ. 2 ನಿಮಿಷ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ನಾವು IPL ನೋಡಕ್ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೆ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇದು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್
ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಮತ್ತೊಂದು
ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಪ್ಪ ಹಂಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತದೆ. ನಮ್ಗೇನ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಐತಲ್ಲ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಬಹಳ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿರೋರು ಅಲ್ಲಿರೋರು ಹೋದ್ರು ನಡೀತದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿರೋರ್ದು ಕಾಲೇಜಿಗೆ ಬರೋದು.
ಹಲೋ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸರಿ ಬರ್ತದಲ್ಲ ಇವು ನಾನು ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಬಂದ ಇದ್ದೀನ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಮೇಡಮ್ ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದಾರಲ್ಲ? ಹಲೋ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಸುನಿಲ್ ಸರ್? ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಲೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ
ಈಗಿನ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ನೀನು ಸೈನ್ ಹೋಗಿಲ್ಲ
ನಾನಾ
ಈಗ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೆ
ಹಲೋ
ಈಗ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಷ್ಟ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಅವರು
ಪ್ರಬಲ
ಬೇರೆ ಯಾರು ಹೇಳಿದಾರಾ
ಅಲ್ಲೇ ನೋಡಿ
ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಬಿಡಿ
ನಮ್ಮ ಹೆಚ್ಒಡಿ ಸೆಷನ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಬರಕ್ಕೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾರ್ದು ಬೇಡ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಯಾರು ಮಾತಾಡೋದು ಬೇಡ ಬರೀ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಟೈಮ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಇದು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಹೆಚ್ಒಡಿ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ
ಹಲೋ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಿದೆಯಾ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಿದೆಯಾ ಹಾಂ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ನೋಡೋಣ ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿ ಹಾಂ ನೋಡಿ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು ಕೇಳಿಸುತ್ತಾರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಸ್ಪೀಕರಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತೀನಿ
ಇದ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡಿ ಮೇಡಮ್
ಓಕೆ
ಮೇಡಮ್ ಈ ಮೈಕ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡಿ
ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಹೇಳಂಗಿಲ್ಲ ಸೊ ಇದು
ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಶೋ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಇದೆ
ಮೇಡಮ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಹೇಳಿ ಲೈವ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡೋ ಪ್ರತಿ ಮಾತು ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಲೈವ್ ಇದೆ ಸರಿನಾ ಇದು ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಇದು ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಲೈವ್ ಸೆಷನ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ
ಕ್ಯಾಮೆರಾ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಮೈಕ್ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಹೌದು ಮೇಡಮ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ನೀವು
ಆಫ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅದೇ ನೀವು ನಿಮಗೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಮಾತಾಡೋ ಪ್ರತಿ ಮಾತು ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಮೌಸ್ ಅಲರ್ಟ್ ನೋಡಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಲೈವ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬರ್ತೀನಿ
ಇನಾಗ್ರೇಷನ್ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸರ್ ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬೇರೆ ತಿಂದು ಓಡೋದಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಯಾಂಟೀನ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅವಳು ಬಾಕ್ಸ್ ತಂದಿದ್ದಾಳೆ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲೂ ಹೋಗಿಲ್ಲ ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಬಂದಾಗಿಂದ ಇದ್ದೇ ನಮ್ಮ ಹೆಚ್ಒಡಿ
ಇಲ್ಲ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ ಅದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪರ್ಟ್ ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸ್ಲೋ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬೇಗ ಕ್ಯಾಚಪ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಕಡೆ ಇದಾಗಲ್ಲ ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಾಂಗ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗಲೇ ಸೆಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಮೇಡಮ್ ನಲವತ್ತು ನೀವು ಕಡಿಮೆ ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾರು
ಟಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರೋದು ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಕ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ತುಂಬ ಸೆಮಿನಾರ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಬರಬೇಕು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಈಗ ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ನಾವೇನು ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಕ್ ಡೇಟ್ನ ಕರೆಯೋದಿಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಕ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ನೀನು ಸಂಜೆ ವೋಟ್ ಅಟೆಂಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಕ್ ಡೀನ್ ಅಂತಲೂ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿಕ್ ಡೀನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಸೇಮ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ಗೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು ಯಾರು ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂತ ಇದ್ದು
ಲೈವ್ ಇದೆ ಕಣಪ್ಪ. ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾಯ್ತು ಯಾವ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಯಾವಾಗ ಈಸಿ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡೆ ಪಾಪ ನೋಡು ನಿನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಸಂಜನಾ ನೋಡು ಏಳು ಜನ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಆ ಕಡೆ ಚೇರ್ ಎರಡು ಚೇರ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ವಿ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆ ಕಡೆ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ನು 5 ಇದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಟೀ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಜೋಡಿಸಿ
ಶೆಲ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದು
ಲೈನ್ ತೆಗೆದರೆ ಸರಿ ದೀನ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಇದು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ
So that is also not a accuracy
there is wrong, but of stays in the department under the almost 7.9. So 7 point. I corrected our correct setting here from last time Wednesday corrected to. Educational order she's not stiffness ಇದೆ ಲ್ಯಾಗ್ ಶೇಪ್ ಸ್ಟಿಫ್ನೆಸ್ ಇದೆ ಇದು ಕಷ್ಟ ಸ್ಟಿಫ್ನೆಸ್ ಇದೆ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಗುಡ್ ಬಟ್ ಸ್ಟಿಫ್ನೆಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ
ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಮೈಕ್
ಇದು ಲೈವ್ ಇದೆ ಲೈವ್ ಇದೆ ಲೈವ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ
Please wait.
And gratitude and welcome our guiding.
All of us learned one important thing from COVID. Earlier, we are not that much sensible about hygiene, personal hygiene, right? We're using mask, hand wash, sanitizing. So these things are predominant from past 2 to 3 years. right? As we use our hands on a way, as we are connecting with people, we got affected by diseases. So as in this digital era, we can't avoid digitalization. It becomes inevitable even in day-to-day activity if you're not making use of any of the digital tools. It is difficult, hardest, I think, right? So it is important for us, all of us, to take care of cyber hygiene or digital hygiene, we can say. So, like we have personal hygiene habits, we must have cyber digital hygiene also. The reason is there are certain points where we need to document it digitally. We need to do financial transactions. We are sending so many things, personal things in social media. We need to take care of our reputation also, right? And to enhance the performance of digital tools, digital security is important. All these things, it is very, very important and significant to safeguard, secure our passwords, and we must inculcate the habit of securing ourselves digitally. So that is most important. Today we have with us Cyberwall from Sunil from Cyberwall Global Solutions. It throw some light on this particular aspect. Be very, very beneficial, right? So prevention is always better than cure. So
The last. Am I audible? First question. ನಾನು ಮಾತಾಡೋದು ಕೇಳ್ತಿದೆ Second, screen is visible clearly. So, first of all, I'm thankful to the college for having me here, and also I'm thankful to you guys for spending your 1.5 hour time, right? So, next 75 minutes, in the next 75 minutes, we will try to understand uh, what is cybersecurity, what are the necessary measures we need to take when it comes to protecting the data, and what kind of awareness we need to have. So that's the overall the workshop agenda. And quickly, I will ask you guys, do you know what is cybersecurity? That's the first question from us. Have you heard the word of cybersecurity? Yes. Yes. At breakfast, still we have a time for the lunch. No? We'll go after this. Okay, go for the lunch. No worries. Jokes apart. So, cybersecurity again. First, why this word cybersecurity has emerged? Any idea or any ideas? ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರೆ be bold, be strong. Okay, either it is correct, wrong. I'm not going to give any marks. This is not your exam. This is just to exchange your knowledge. That's it. It is just to help you to have a better awareness about cybersecurity. That's the overall motive of this session. Cybersecurity, ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂತು, ಏನಕ್ಕೆ start ಆಯ್ತು, why it is currently in the trend, why it is a booming, why it is emerging technology. How many of you heard the word cybersecurity? Just write that. Yes. Come on. ಯಾವಾಗ ಮುಂಚೆ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಇವಾಗ ಈ ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಇವಾಗ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಮುಂಚೆನೇ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ see you guys know what is cybersecurity. Can you tell me what do you know about cybersecurity? ನಿಮಗೆ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಾದ್ರೆ come on be vocal. No words, only cybersecurity ಅನ್ನೋ ವರ್ಡ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಗೊತ್ತಾ ಅಥವಾ ಇನ್ನ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಗೊತ್ತಾ? ಎಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನನ್ನ ಕ್ಯಾಪ್ಚರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ನನ್ನ ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್. Let's come out of that zone. Let's treat me as your friend, but don't call me Bacha. Treat me as your friend. Let's exchange the knowledge. That's very much important. Let's exchange the knowledge, right? ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತು ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್? Words, at least some terminologies, technology words. So silence. How many of you heard the word virus? Yes. Now yes. How many of you heard the word of ransomware attack? At least say yes or no. How many of you heard the word of malware? How many of you heard the word of phishing attack? Mixture answer. Yes, sometimes. No. How many? Team is saying yes, half of the team is saying no. How many of you heard cyberbullying? No? How many of you heard password hygiene? Yes? Now I have started hearing yes. How many of you heard about social engineering? Yes? No. It's okay. We will try to understand all these terminologies and technologies. So what is the agenda of this next 75 minutes is we will understand the cybersecurity world and its crime. We will understand cybersecurity procedures, we will understand common security threats, we will understand social engineering, we will go deep dive into the malwares, what kind of malwares, viruses, ransomware, etc. etc. We will also look into the mitral tactics and techniques, including the cyber future. So can you just go to the next slide? Next slide. Okay, the first one is cybersecurity world and its crime. So there is a tagline here. I'm not sure are you guys are able to see, but I will read it. Everything what you thought you knew about cybersecurity is going to change. Meaning that many times, even though I have few years of experience in this world, but I can't say with a guarantee that I know everything in cybersecurity because it's changing day by day, minute by minute, years by years, months by months. That's the rapid change which is happening in cybersecurity. None of the organization will not say they are 100% protected. Do you know what is the recent cyber attack? Hacking. Yes. Someone said hacking. What is that recent hacking? Be bold, madam. See, if none of them are not answering, you are actually coming a step ahead and trying to answer. Whatever the answer it is. Be bold. Whoever it is. ಕೇಳಿದ್ರ ಅಲ್ವಾ ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಸೈಬರ್ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರಾ ಎಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯು ಜಸ್ಟ್ ನೇಮ್ Instagram? Yes? Yes. What type of attack on Instagram? Huh? Sorry, we both. Accounts. Accounts got compromised. Okay. Which accounts? Any idea? Is it your personal account? Your personal account got compromised. See, I'm not talking about individuals. Individual also we will try to discuss. But when you think about the cybersecurity, think from an organizational front. Think from an organizational point of view. The recent attack which I read on the news or on the internet is Oracle. It's a recent cyber attack. Oracle Cloud. How many of you know about Oracle Cloud? How many of you know the cloud? AWS, GCP, Google Cloud, Azure. Similarly, Oracle also provides the cloud platform, and the cloud platform is compromised and some areas are leaked. That's the reason cyber attack. So that's the reason we will try to understand. We'll try to understand the attacks. Let me start with the first presentation. In the earlies 1970, the term ransomware virus homes were not commonly known. Even 1998 ನಮಗೆ ಕೋವಿಡ್ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಡ್ ಬಂತು. ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂತು ಕೋವಿಡ್? I'm not asking who generated, what is the agenda, what is the motto. I'm not going to discuss about that. But coronavirus, let's connect this cybersecurity to our real life. Let's connect the cybersecurity to our real life. ಅವಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಕೊರೋನಾ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದು ವೈರಸ್, ಕೋವಿಡ್ ವೈರಸ್, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್? ಸೊ ಹೇಗೆ ಬಂತು? What was the impact of corona? ಕೇಳಿಲ್ವಾ ನೀವು? ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ತಾನೆ. ಸೊ ಏನು ಕೊರೋನಾದ ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಏನಿದೆ? No answers. Symptoms ಏನಿತ್ತು ಕೊರೋನಾದು? Cold, cough, fever. If any of these symptoms are there for a few days, then what they used to do? Quarantine. Quarantine for a week, 10 days, 14 days, whatever the design department has a guidance, right? So similar fashion, in a similar way, even in 1970, we didn't have the concept of or the awareness of ransomware virus malware. ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವಾಗ ಆ ಎರದಲ್ಲಿ people were not online. What is the meaning of this? It's quite interesting. People were not online. Now we are online. I'm not asking about your Instagram online, Facebook online. My word meaning, we are online means we are on the internet. We are directly connected to the internet. Yes, that's the whole reason for the cybercrime. Cybercrime meaning is to booming in the market. We are directly connected to the internet. Not the silence. That's the fact. That's it. Tell me any one of you who do not have social media. I will really appreciate that. We have it, right? Whichever the account. I'm not pointing out anyone's interest here.
Even you have own resistance. Even you have another phone has not there in social media. You won't sign up right now.
Okay. Okay. That's the fact. I should answer. See, that's where the problem has started. When I was a student, it's very much difficult to have access to the gadgets, electronic gadgets, laptops, computers, mobile phones, headphones. It was costly. We were not able to afford during those days. I'm talking about 15 years before. Now everything is available in your hands. First thing. Second thing, even though if you had mobile devices during those days, 1 GB of data used to cost more than 200 rupees. 1 GB of data. Now you guys have it. Now you guys have 5G data unlimited. Yes? Nobody is also. See, it's not a fun. There is a serious threat associated with it. ನಿಮಗೆ 5GB data ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ continuous internal ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Morning till evening, if you do not have any class anywhere. Yes? ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು, reels ನೋಡೋದು, YouTube ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು, chat ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. I'm not blaming again. I'm not pointing out anyone. That's the fact. We should accept it. That is the reason. So why did the concept of cybersecurity emerge during this time? Is the answer is cybercrime. Now, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ online ಇದೀವಿ. That's my request, sir. Keep your mobile either in silent mode or vibration. It's fine. So why did the concept of cybersecurity emerge during this time? Is because of the cybercrime. ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲ ಡೇಟಾ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಫೇಕ್ ಕಾಲ್ಸ್, ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾಮ್ ಕಾಲ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? ಅಲ್ಲೇ ರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ತಪ್ಪೇನಿಲ್ಲ. It's not wrong at all, sir. You are getting a call. How many of you are getting a spam call? See, at least have a 10% in this. Some of you are not raising your hand. That's fine. At least have a volunteer raising of your hands of at least a 10% of it. Why it is? Your data is available to someone through some media. That's the reason you are getting spam calls. You do not know that person. ಗೊತ್ತಾ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅವರು ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾಮ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡೋರು, ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾಮ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡೋರು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ? You don't know where a person is sitting in Delhi, Noida, Gurugram, Maharashtra. I'm not pointing out anyone. Disclaims are there. You are getting the calls for those reasons. You do not have friends, you do not have relatives. Then how that person knows your contact details? It means our data is not safeguarded. We just share the data however we wish. If you go to the cyber cafe or if you go to the Xerox shop, if you want to take out the Aadhaar printout, what Xerox shop person, the owner of Xerox shop says, sir, what's up the girls code? The moment when you share your Aadhaar card, PAN card, or whichever the documents to him on the WhatsApp, you will get the printouts. Then you will leave that class. Printout ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಹೊರಟ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. But the document which you share to him has value to it. They can sell that information in the world and they can earn from that. ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ದಲ್ಲ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋದು ಯಾರು ಥ್ರಿಲ್ಲರ್ ಮೂವಿ ಸಸ್ಪೆನ್ಸ್ ಮೂವೀಸ್ ನೋಡ್ತಾರೆ. They would have watched it in the movies, but that's the actual fact. And we will see the coming slide. Cyber crime is also known as cyber attack. So cybercrime, also known as cyber attack, are illegal activities in which computing devices such as computers, smartphones, networks is used as a tool or an object of a criminal behavior. People often commit a crime of a malicious and criminal nature either for revenge, greed, or fun. On cyber crime, it's not only with the cyber crime, if it is a normal crime also, what we see, what we hear, what we read in the news, right? For any crime, these three factors are directly related to it. ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಕ್ರೈಮ್ ಆದರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ it might be revenge. Revenge ಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ crime. Sometimes people do it for fun. It's so bad. ನಮ್ಮ ಖುಷಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ಬರಿಗೆ ತೊಂದರೆ ಮಾಡೋದು, it's not too good. Either it is personal crimes, what we see, or it is related to cyber crime also. I will give a lot of examples related to cybercrime when it comes to the fun as a parameter and also greed. Tumba means is that many times we did that, right? And be careful as you guys are using social media platforms, whichever the social media platform, either it's Facebook, Twitter, whichever the platform. When you see any news, whenever you comment, whenever you share, use your brain. If it is a fake news, if it is actually impacting the social, whatever the social or society, right? If it is impacting the society, if you are sharing, then you are also a part of that crime. Recent time, government have a vigilance, what you do, what you access and everything. Okay, just keep that in your mind. Then types of attackers: internal attack, external attack. Very much interesting. Internal attack ಅಂದ್ರೆ within the organization ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. Organization ಇದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಮಾಡೋ attackers. They will share the internal information to the external bodies. ಇದು ಹೀಗಿದೆ, ಇದು ಹೀಗೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. We have these kind of securities. We use these many devices as a security. If if you're not able to detect the insider threat, for internal we even call it as insider threat. Okay, that is one of the biggest problem in the world, insider threat, because it is not so easy to detect the insider threat. We don't know because we are within us, right? So that's one of the biggest challenge for every organization, insider threat or internal attack. Okay, an internal attack occurs when an insider with authorized access tags a network or a system. Employees or contractors who are upset or unhappy with their job or organizations are most likely to engage in such crimes. An insider attack could be motivated by a revenge or a greed. Again, the same words are repeating. It can be revenge or greed. Okay, insiders can carry out cyber attacks quickly because they already know the security system procedures, processes, everything about the security systems. Or it's easy insider because they knew it. And this kind of attacks can happen just because of the revenge or the greed. ಯಾರೋ ಒಬ್ರು ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯ್ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಡ್ಯೂ ಟು ಎನಿ ಸರ್ಕಮ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಸ್, ಇಫ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪಿ, he knows how the society system works, right? If they want to attack, they can do it. Similarly, external, it is quite difficult, but it is not really not difficult things to stop. If they wanted to do the attack on any external company, they can do it, but the efforts are a bit more compared to your internal. ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರೋರಿಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಈಸಿ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಆಚೆಯಿಂದ ಅಟ್ಯಾಕ್ ಮಾಡೋದೇ obviously they need to understand the entire thing. They need to do the proper due diligence. I mean, gather information, then check is this information is correct, what is the weaknesses in the system, then only you can do an attack. That's the external attack. Again, what do the attackers hope to achieve by committing these kind of attacks? Same thing what we discussed in the previous slide. Greed. One of the main reasons people commit a cyber attack is to make fast and easy money. That's greed. Revenge. You know the meaning of the revenge, correct? And finally, the fun. Immaturity. Fun is generally who carries the attack just because of fun. It's an immaturity. Mind is not mature. It is just for their happiness they do such kind of attacks. For example, after this session, if you understand, I know hacking, I should start doing the hacking of some other website, then it's an immaturity of the mind. You should know the tactics, techniques properly, how the process works. Then if you start doing an hacking, I'll just give you an example. Then you are mature enough to take an action on something. If you do not know, we generally call it as newbies. Newbies means you are ambegal one particular field area. If they wanted to do a lot of attacks on the any of the networks or the systems, then it is going to be fun. Cybersecurity procedures. Cybercrime is a global problem. It's not only an India problem, it's a global problem. We need to accept that. It has taken the media spotlight because the number of attacks are increasing. Every minute there will be an attack globally. You can just go ahead and check that information. If you Google it, you will get that information. It endangers individual but poses a far greater threat to a large organization, financial institutions, and government. I'll just give you an example, right? From the example, Oracle cloud got compromised. Right? Tons of information are leaked. Where they do leak this information? Any idea? Information will leak out. How many of you heard about dark web? 1, 2, 3. Oh, interesting. Girls, 1. Okay. How many? I will repeat my question. How many of you heard about a word called dark web? Dark, D-A-R-K-W-E-B, dark web. Girls, only 1. Yes, ma'am. Are you? It's an interesting word. It's not a good word, but it's an interesting word. That we will see after next time. Generally, whenever these kind of cyber attack happens, if they steal the information, generally these informations are available in the dark web, right? With so such data available to hack and steal, cybersecurity has become critical. That's why I mentioned we all are online. Many of our informations are available in online. If we had a party with our friends, that status will be online, either through WhatsApp status or Instagram status. If we are going to any location, we will just share that information. I am visiting XYZ place on XYZ day at XYZ time. It means we are letting know our next movement to attack us. Many a times we upload a lot of photographs, a lot of contents on the social media, and we don't know what kind of impact can happen. Some of you might be getting now awareness of what happens if we do not have private settings enabled for your personal profiles. If not, please do enable the private settings for your profiles, whichever the platform again. Okay? Why do we need cybersecurity? Modern life does intended to take place online, and much of our personal information and media are publicly accessible. Sometimes in place we have no idea. The meaning of sometimes in a place we have no idea exists means we do not know whether our information are available in the dark web. Someone has stolen my username, someone has stolen my password, he is selling it in the dark web. How many of you You say, I'm completely secure, and I challenge that my Google, my Twitter, whichever the social media account you have, is not compromised. When you read that documentation carefully, just go ahead and check. You guys do not know. Sometimes if it is compromised, have a strong password enabled. That is called password hygiene. Meaning of password hygiene is follow the standards of the password. Minimum 8 characters, correct? Minimum 8 characters with one uppercase, special characters enabled. That's the length and the strength of the password. And change the password frequently. When I say frequently, every 2 months, 3 months, 6 months at least, worst case, change the passwords. Do not store your passwords on publicly accessible websites like the cloud platforms and all. Okay? And do not share or do not store passwords in your laptops if someone is accessing those laptops. Okay? That's the password. So, with so many access points, public addresses, online media, and data sets to manipulate, attackers put a lot of work into finding weakness and developing malicious programs to get the data they want. How? Sorry. How someone will target you? The security situation. They have to have a proper social engineering on you. What is social engineering? बोल दिया session. Oh, that's it. Oh, that's it. It is going to be interesting in the download line, few slides. Social engineering in the sense. So engage stuff. Either food, buy, game, engage stuff. Game. Which games? Cards. And engage stuff. Jewelry, dress, saris, whatever it is. Just tell me what do you like at this point. I'm not gonna offer those things. Just tell me what you like. Someone said games, someone said bikes. That's girls from girls side, that's considered the dress, sari or whatever. That's actually an attacker can use it as a weakness point. How? How? How many of you heard the word of steganography? Steganography. Steganography. Okay. I will tell you what exactly is steganography. As a hacker, what I do, I create one malicious file. Okay, malicious file. We can call it as virus also. I will embed that malicious file to the actual file. When I say the actual file, in this case, let's consider a superbike image. Someone likes superbikes. I understood that his weakness. What I do, I'll create a malicious file, I'll embed that file, that malicious file to the image, and I'll send it to the exploited person in this form. Through any mode, through email, through WhatsApp, or I will upload it to the cloud and I'll send him the link to download and watch it. Right? The moment when he downloads and access that file, first, before opening the image, the virus will be installed on his machine. Then the image will start loading. That's called steganography. That's how steganography works. That's how, as an attacker, I develop malicious file, then I will target someone. I'm not going to do it, and you guys also don't have to do it. Okay? That's how steganography works. What do attackers want? Attackers is the user. What they want? The money, the data, and the identification. Is there any value to your data? Your Aadhaar number, mobile number, and the account what you have, it has the user and password, you can have a value here. Yes. What is the value? What is the value generally as per your understanding? No. Let's see. Cyber attacks are usually aimed to gaining access to networks, modifying or damaging sensitive data, obtaining money from users, or affecting normal business operations. Cybersecurity is the process of preventing cyber attacks on devices, networks, and services. If you look into what is the value if your data gets compromised, maybe the next slide it shows the value. But as I was saying, right, the dark web. So these all are the different types of web. What do you access? Like Google, Facebook, Twitter, whatever the surface you do, access it's called surface web. Including Wikipedia, that's a surface web, which is visible at your eyesight at this moment, and it is accessible easily. If you go a little deep, right, then comes the deep web, where net banking, some secure access of data, including research documents, including the medical related documents, the research related to the medical department is generally available in the deep web. If you go to the bottom of the sea, just like if you compare the internet to the sea, if you go to the deeper portion of the sea, the dark web comes into the picture. That's where all illegal activities generally happens. If someone steals your information, if he's planning to sell it, he has to sell in the dark web. Have you ever accessed that crime? Who is directly related to that crime? Never thought of it. Or have you thought of it? ನಿಮ್ಮ Facebook account or Instagram account login details compromise ಆಗಿದೆ. Already ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರೆ reason if they use that account to do illegal activities or to spread some fake information into the society, in the society, who is directly liable for that mistake? You, because your details are compromised. That's all. Change the password every month if possible. It is difficult to do that, at least 3 months. And have a strong password. Don't have guessing passwords. Like your first name at the rate of something. Don't use the standard passwords, or don't use the standard passwords that guessable like 1 2 3 4 5 ABC. Do not set the passwords. I'm telling it seriously because if an attacker is doing proper social engineering on you guys, right, you can guess your passwords. Generally, I will tell you how the passwords we can guess. Generally, password pattern, as we discussed, right, it's a 8 character. If you're maintaining the 8 character, sometimes the password should be my pet name, or the pet which is there in the home, or other name, father name, or who are close to us, their names we can use as a password with some special numbers. It can be our date of birth, it can be our mobile number, sometimes few digits. Yes? No? Yes? Half the question yes, half the question no. If that is the case, try to have the strong passwords enabled. What are the main steps to ensure cybersecurity? So these are the different attacks. What kind of attacks now we see globally is social engineering, business being compromised, VR transport frauds, financial transfers, phishing attacks, credential stuffing, malware infection, inside the threat, zero day, DDoS attack, ransomware attack. And since there are more devices than the people, as I told earlier, since there are more devices than the people today, and attackers are becoming more creative, cybersecurity teams' work has become more increasingly complex and urgent. To keep our data safe, procedures need to be in place to protect us from all the cyber attacks. And to ensure that our data does not fall into a wrong hands. That's what I said. Data, if your data goes to the wrong hands, all the wrong activities will happen. This is why we need cybersecurity, first thing, and how to tackle the situation. ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಕ್ರೈಮ್ ಆದರೆ ಜನರಲ್ ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಟು ದ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್. ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಕ್ರೈಮ್ ಆದರೆ how exactly police generally react to it? They first identify the crime scenes or ಏನಾದರೂ ಸಿಗುತ್ತಾ suspects. Then they will analyze the situation. ಇದೇನಾದರೂ pattern match ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಮುಂಚೆ ಈ ತರ ಏನಾದರೂ crimes ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ, and finally they will act upon it. Similarly, the cyber security also we need to identify if our data got compromised, analyze where all it is being compromised, who has actually stolen our data, what they have done it, and finally act it. That's how we should. And these kind of attacks, it takes a lot of time to discuss each and every attack, but I will just try to give you a glance. Zero day exploit under the vulnerabilities which has come recently, and currently we do not have any fix for that. It is called zero day in the name series. Inside threat, ಮುಂಚೆನೇ ಆಗಲೇ ಹೇಳಿದೆ, internal attack, external attack. Inside threat refers to the insider attack or internal attack. Malware infection, cryptography. I told you cryptography. If I create a virus, if I embed that virus to any of the files, not only with the image server, you embed any file and you send it to the recipient. If the recipient downloads and access, then he is going to be hacker will have an access to such kind of devices. Credential styles, again, your passwords. I can guess, I can even pull the credentials in any means. Phishing attack, some told me phishing in the class. Phishing attacks, there are a lot of ways when it comes to the phishing. The high level definition of phishing is it's a process or procedure wherein they will create some specially crafted links and they will target either individuals or in mass. ನನಗೆ ಕೇಳಿದೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾಮ್ ಕಾಲ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾಮ್ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾಮ್ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಲಿಂಕ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್? ಇಫ್ ಯು ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ದಟ್, you're actually a part of that campaign, phishing campaign. They don't know who you are. It's a mass target. ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಒಬ್ಬರು ಆ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಕ್ಲಿಕ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು if you follow that procedure, sometimes they'll ask you to provide your personal details also. And always phishing attack, it's a global attack. It's a global headache. 90% of the attacks are part of phishing attacks. Phishing attack ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಅರ್ಜೆನ್ಸಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. In the sense, ಯಾರು ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, so they will create an emergency, say that, so could you please provide your last pin which you have set. Once you pin code then might be doing a transaction at this moment. Then OTP will be generated. He will say, sir, just for confirmation, now OTP is generated, will you please share that OTP? If you share OTP, whatever the intention you have, it is done. Either transfer of the fund, buying something from online. This situation I've seen live in Bangalore. Many of the people were part of these kind of attacks and they were the victims of these attacks. Account balance khali agutte one, or they even target the companies. You about the individual, they target the companies. They will act as the CEO of this company. They will create a fake WhatsApp account. They will put the same image of their company CEO and they will send a message to their finance team and they will ask, hey buddy, I'm in the middle of something, could you please transfer XYZ amount to this XYZ person? If any commands or instructions are coming from the CEO, obviously it's an order for us, right? We will act upon it and immediately react actively. The moment when you transfer the amount without proper having due diligence, then you are done. Company is going to lose that amount. I've seen these kind of examples also across the globe. You can Google it and you can see such kind of information. That's a kind of phishing attack. Business email compromise, again, it's a kind of the phishing part of it. Sometimes you will see the emails just like the genuine emails. Phishing emails in noting, the body of the content seems to be genuine, the subject line seems to be genuine. If you go ahead and check the actual image, is not. Access bank, you can create a dummy domain of it, but generally the biggest problem with us is we will not see the URL, entire URL. If the page looks similar, then we just go ahead and access. We sometimes provide the username and password. So whenever you try to access any kind of such kind of website or the application, check the URL properly. What are the dangers of neglecting that thing? We discussed the different ways the attackers might attack or attack might happen. If you are not acting upon it, that's called negligence. Correct? Overlooking cybersecurity poses several risks, some of which are more significant than others. In some cases, attackers can use malicious software to ruin your entire network. Alternatively, attackers can access the systems and modify the critical files, and even use the computer to target the others. Even with positive measures, there is no assurance that these things will not happen to individuals or to the organization. So that's what I said. When I started the conversation, right? Nobody can say they are 100% protected. Recently, many of the companies got breached, even though they have the strongest firewalls, strongest network devices in place. That's why I said attackers are creative. If you have strongest network devices in place, firewalls, DLP, extended solutions, then the attackers will try to see the loopholes in the organization. Are you doing a transaction with third party? If yes, then they will target the third party and targeting directly you. From third party, they will try to enter into your network. Common security threats. There are 4 different threats what we see globally, major threats. The brute force attack, man in the middle, denial of service, distribution of denial service. Probably you guys have experienced distributed denial of service and denial of service. I will give an example. Yawan result to birth generally when the results are out, right? Whenever you try to access the websites, right, to pull the results, sometimes you will feel something slow. Have you experienced? That's pure the DDoS, denial of distributed denial of service. What is the meaning of this is server will have amount of capacity to respond to the request. For example, in this hall, if 10 members ask me a question, I should be able to manage at an extent. Suddenly, 40 members ask me a question in one shot, definitely I'm not. That's how run servers works. In one shot, when you hear the results are out at 1 p.m. tomorrow, obviously all are curious to go ahead and check the results. So all these requests are treated as request as a flood to the server, and server will respond to it one after the other, one after the other. So that's the reason many times we will feel it as it is quite slow. It is quite slow. And even when bank people do say server is down. It can be any reason. I'm not only saying it is because of the distribution of the services. There are so many factors are associated with denial of service. The only difference between DOS and DDoS is if the attack happens by an individual, generally or very minimal number of users involved in an attack, then it's a DOS attack, denial of services. If the number of attacks the part of the attack, the number of users are more, then it is called DDoS attack. Have you studied this DDoS or DOS in the subject in computer networks? Do you in Gita is subject computer networks and will what? Yes or no? No problem. So man in the middle. So man in the middle attack sender to recipient and recipient to sender. In between, if a person is sitting and listening the entire communication and acting as he is the sender sometimes to the recipient, and the recipient is showing it as the vice versa, then it is called the man in the middle. Telephone tap Fidra, they will be silently listening the entire communication. Sometimes such situation can also be called as man in the middle attack. Finally, brute force attack. Brute force attack is generally used to fetch the passwords. If you want to fetch the passwords of Windows operating system, you can do root force attack. That's what we are again and again we are emphasizing on having a strong password enabled. If you have a strong password, it takes months, years to get to crack those passwords. If the password is weak, if it is guessable, like if it is just numeric, if it is just alphabetic, like ABCD in a series, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbering in a series, then can be such kind of passwords can be cracked in minutes or in seconds. It's the same explanation. I don't want to bore you guys by explaining that same content in English. I will just move to the next. Social engineering. What is social engineering? Social engineering is a term of an attack that attempts to manipulate individuals into performing specific actions or exposing private data. Social engineering incorporates psychological tactics to mislead users into making security mistakes. That's what I said. So if someone calls you saying that, sir, home arrest. How many of you heard? Home arrest. Home arrest. Home arrest. Okay. It's trending now. ನೀವು ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ if you call to someone, ಕಾಲ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಒಂದು ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ನೋಟ್ ಬರ್ತದೆ. That's awareness. If someone is asking you to share a password, don't share that. That's the first message. Second, if someone is calling saying that I'm from cybercrime, we are doing a home arrest for you for the next 24 hours. Wherever you are, you have to be in that room or the house, make sure nobody is not there around you. That's home arrest or house arrest. They will make you to be in your place for the next 24 hours and they will instruct you and you need to act upon it. That's one of the biggest threat nowadays. If you're getting any such kind of calls, just delay such kind of calls. Don't will not do it. If someone is saying, I'm calling from XYZ police station or I'm calling from cybercrime department, you tell buddy wherever you are, I will come and I will meet you in person. None of the laws are saying are allowed to a home arrest without a proper instructions or documentations. Or if someone is calling and asking for the OTP, you don't need to share. Your bank managers are not allowed to ask for OTPs. It's a restriction from the RBI. So when it comes to the social engineering attacks, it can occur in several ways. The pre-testing, the spam message what you're getting, so it's a part of it. Physical attacks, it's very rare. In some cases, physical attack happens. And phishing. So in phishing, there are so many ways. The word seems to be a single word phishing, but it has different faces to it. If someone is doing a calling and if they are trying to do a phishing, then we call such kind of phishing attack as phishing. Why is over phishing? If someone is sending a message and if they are trying to do a phishing attack, it's a different way. If someone is acting like a CEO and if he is sending a message to do a transfer of the money, then it's a different kind of phishing. It depends what kind of ways, what kind of methods are they using to do an attack. Diving into the world of malware. Before this, I just wanted to understand how many of you know about antivirus? Or how many of you heard about antivirus? Guys, it's few hands from the girls. Antivirus, how does it work, madam? Why we need antivirus? Let's understand. Why we need an antivirus? Virus is stop madam. Correct. If you don't want to your system get infected with virus, you need an antivirus to have a better mechanism in place. But how does it work? ಇವಾಗ ನೀವು ಏನೇ ಒಂದು ಫೈಲ್ ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ antivirus has to block it if it is virus. And how does it understand it's virus or it's not a virus? No. Let me give you an example. How many of you hold a bank account here? I don't need any bank account number balance. I just want to just give me a bank account. Majority. Super. ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಬ್ಯಾಂಕಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ವಿಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡೋದು? Majority. Super. Then we can make easily. See, ಯಾರೋ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಚೆಕ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ, you just go ahead and submit to the bank and you wanted to withdraw the money. ನೀವು ಯಾರು ಸಬ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? Cashier. What cashier does? ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರಲ್ಲ, what it does? ಏನ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? One by one. Name, okay. Second, account number. Third, signature. ನಿಮ್ದು ಬ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಅಕೌಂಟ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಲಿ, ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಲಿ, ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಫೈನಲ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಸಿಗ್ನೇಚರ್, ಅದು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೇನೆ ಚೆಕ್ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. It will be processed. If not, antivirus works on signature based. If the file is having good sign, then it is allowed to execute. If the file is having bad signature, then it will just go ahead and block it. I am talking about the digital signatures about the file. The hashes, whatever comes into that, when it comes to properties of the file. So that's how antivirus works. So what is malware in this case now? Virus andre at least COVID ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿ, COVID virus, coronavirus. But what exactly it is? ಹೇಗೆ ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಡ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ? Let's understand. ಹೇಗೆ ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಡ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ? ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಅಲ್ವಲ್ಲ, we used to move that virus from one location to another location. Humans, virus will not travel automatically. Humans are moving that virus from one location to another. That's how that virus is. Similarly, in the malware, there are so many different types. I'd say malware, it's one of the software. Someone has written 5 to 10 lines of code and he has designed a program saying that this is the intent or the intention of this malware. In the malware, there are different types. It can be virus, it can be adware, it can be rootkit, it can be the ransomware. Now the trend is on the ransomware. People don't just call it as virus. Now the trend is on the ransomware. If ransomware attack happens on any of the network, including the laptop, desktop, server, storage, everything will be encrypted. You cannot access those machines until you have a decryption key. How you will get a decryption key? There will be a message on your screen, laptop screen or desktop screen. Please do contact us for the decryption key. The moment when you start your conversation with a hacker, it will ask you to pay some ransom. That's the reason it is called ransomware. The ware comes from here. The ware, malware, last few words have been used the ware. It's a ransomware. Ransomware is a part. Ransomware is a part of the malware family. Ransom means money. You pay me this much of money, then I will give you a decryption key. Decrypt it, then access it back. What is the guarantee? After a few days, few months, again attack will not happen. So malware or malicious software is an umbrella term that describes any malicious program or code that is harmful to hostile, intrusive, intentional, nasty malware seeks to invade, damage, disable computers, computer systems, networks, tablets, mobile devices, often by taking the personal information or the partial control of your data. Like the human view, it interferes with the normal functions. That's what I was trying to connect you guys with the personal life. Same how if you are getting infected the virus, how your body responds to that, because the network also in the same way. How strong is the virus? Based on that, the attacks will be and your devices will be responding. The motive behind malware can be about making money off you, sabotaging your ability to get the work done, making a political statement, or just bragging rights. All the malwares can't damage the physical hardware or the system or network equipment. Network equipments, see the Google Android, that's fine. It can still encrypt, delete your data, alter or hijack your computer functions or spy on your computer networks. How many of you heard about a word called keylogger? Keylogger. No? Okay. So when it comes to keylogger, there are two things. One is software-based keylogger, second one is the hardware-based keylogger. If I install a keylogger software in any of the devices, if I have access to it, then I can capture entire information what the users are doing in that machine. If you're logging into net banking, if you're entering the username and password, I can capture that. I can have the passwords. The keylogger software will collect and send it to my destination. Either it can be personal email address or to the servers wherever I configure. It is a hardware. It just looks like a tiny device, just like a USB. It can be connected. People can't even identify it as a keylogger device. Even it does the same thing, but it will store the information offline. So even that can also be a part of it. Another 10-15 minutes will wind up. I know you guys are tired. So types of malwares. These are the different types. Adlet, spyware, virus, worms, Trojan or Trojan horse, ransomware, rootkit, keylogger, exploits. So all these are part of malware family. Okay. Adware, go to the if you have experienced adware. I will give you an example. Outdoor website access ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ತುಂಬಾ advertisements pop up. If you click on any one of the ad, it will take you to the next website. Whatever that website is out of, that's an adware example. Spyware. Someone is spying on you through any modes, right? It's again a software which is being installed on your device to capture the information. Virus. It's again a part of malware family. It is designed in such a way that it will not replicate automatically, but someone should execute it. ಯಾರಾದರೂ ಅದನ್ನ execute ಮಾಡಿ double click on execute ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ then only it will start doing its own action. Worse, self-replication. Automatically, ಈಗ viral fever ಅಂತಾರೆ. How viral fever comes? Automatically. If you're close to that person, automatically you get infected with that. It's a part of, it's a kind of works or example of Trojan. It's one of the most dangerous. ಎಷ್ಟು ಮೂವಿ ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ Trojan horse English movies. Not sure you guys know it. So it's one of the most dangerous malware types. It's usually representing itself as something useful in order to trick you guys. For example, if you're downloading some of the softwares from the internet, how do you check if it's genuine software? No. If you have a link to download, just go ahead and download and install it. That's how the Trojan usually is. It will show you that it's the genuine file. The moment when you download and execute, it is going to be installed in your machine. Same way, keylogger, as I told you, rootkit works at the kernel level of the operating system. If you ever the operating system load ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಆ load ಆಗೋ ಜೊತೆಗೆ virus load ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. The reason why it works in that fashion is operating system load ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ virus load ಆದ್ರೆ your antivirus can detect and block. To hide from that situation, it works along with your kernel of the operating system. Sometimes we call it as kernel hook also. Ransomware, I've just explained. Exploit. If you're using the applications like Adobe, PDF for PDF reader purpose or PDF documents purpose, Word document, Excel document, if there is any bug in that, if there is any vulnerabilities in that, I can exploit those vulnerabilities and I can gain access to such kind of devices. That's an example of exploits. These are the different types. Quite interesting one. There are different ways, malware analysis and all. I'm not going to go in depth of it. That's the way of telling you. Exploit. The moment when it installs, then I will see the weakness in that device and start exploiting and do additional installation of the application if required. Command and control. Have complete control of that device and finally action of the objective. What is your intention? You are going to take such kind of action. This is the 7 steps. If any steps breaks in this, if you are not able to carry out any one of the steps, then it's not successful for attack. This is example. Same explanation. It's a more in-depth explanation of each thing. Last course up, it is related to web application vulnerabilities. As you guys access a lot of websites, right? Even there is any bug in those websites, this OSAP talks about it. It can be SQL injection if that application holds the database. I can do an SQL injection. Why the word SQL has come up is generally the database. Famous database was earlier it was SQL, so people started using that word SQL database or SQL injection when it comes to the hack mechanism. Similarly, go prophylaxis, injections, insecure designs. Insecure designs means if you click on home, actually if you click on contact us, it should go to contact us. It should not stay in the same page. That's an insecure. The design of the website is not in a proper way. Similarly, it talks a lot about around 10 different hack ways are there in the applications for applications. If any of you are designing websites, you should have these things in mind. The website should be secured enough. It should not have any vulnerabilities in that. Again, it's a broader explanation. I don't want to spend because at least we need more 30 minutes minimum, to have a discussion about this. I'll quickly move on. That's it. Just to do Chapala just to meaning Sakagin, stop. I know, no. Even I used to sit on those things. I can understand. If you want to get into cybersecurity or you want to have mastering of cybersecurity, think, decide, have more consultancy on that particular platform, then choose, then get enrolled, study on that, get a job, have a successful life. Thank you everyone. Have a wonderful day. We're done now. Any questions for I forward us? If no questions, if no questions, there are two messages to me. One is I didn't even understand what the concepts we discussed for around one and a half hour. Or I understood everything. There are only two reasons. If there is no questions. Anyways, thank you once. Over to you.